Welcome back to our month in Switzerland. After 2 nights in Zurich and 2 in Lucerne, we're now on a train winding through the mountains towards Interlaken. And I'm not exaggerating when I say these are the most incredible views we have ever seen. Video just does not do them justice. The scale of these mountains is incredible. When we arrived in Interlaken, everything felt a little bit more peaceful. The mountains were surrounding us and the river channels were the most beautiful turquoise colour. It was lightly raining, but it didn't matter at all because it was still so beautiful. We took a short bus ride to our accommodation, seeing as we had quite a bit of luggage with us. It was an easy trip and it was nice getting to see a bit more of what was around the town. When we got off, we were in a quiet area just outside the centre, and thankfully Mark helped me with the short walk from the bus stop to our Airbnb. We booked a cute and cosy cabin-style room, just big enough for the two of us, with a small kitchen so we can make our own meals during our stay, because we know how expensive eating out here is. From the window, we get our first proper glimpse of the Jungfrau in the distance, just peeking through the mountains. It's subtle, but it's that first moment where it really sinks in that we're finally in the Swiss Alps after years of dreaming. Okay, so we've arrived to our room. Our Airbnb in Untersee. So cute. This little cabin style room. Really cozy. Just loves it. Mark's just making a coffee. I don't have any milk, so I'm just going to have an espresso. And look at the view. It's just outside our window. Snow-capped mountains. So good. After settling into our room, we went for a walk exploring around Interlaken in the light rain. Then we stumbled upon the cutest little restaurant called Vintage Küchekastli. I hope I pronounced that okay. Apparently it's a famous Swiss word. It actually means kitchen cupboard, but it's an old kitchen cupboard. Anyone who's Swiss watching, let me know if I pronounced it okay. We both ordered a panache, which is like Australia's shandy, so it's beer with lemonade, and they're so good and so refreshing in summer over there. I had them all the time. We also try our first cheese fondue of the trip. So in Switzerland, cheese fondue is traditionally a winter dish, so having it in the middle of summer is a bit more of a touristy experience. But of course, for the first time being in Switzerland, we had to try it. And of course, it was absolutely delicious, as expected. We were intrigued by this mini ring toss type game, and one of the locals was showing me how to play. It was way harder than it looks, and it took a good while to get the hang of it, but I was so determined. Even some of the patrons were cheering me on, probably because they were so over watching me try and fail over and over again.
So he's American actually. I play this game every day.
Oh, is this an American?
Yeah, it's like...
Keep that you have to keep that steady so it's not spinning like this. That's better. That's it.
Yes, I can sleep tonight.
It took me like half an hour, I think. And of course, Mark gets it done in less than 5 minutes. But to be fair, he was watching my failures for a while, so he kind of learned how to do it. After our early dinner, we went back to our room for the evening, and I organised my closet so that it would be easier to pick my outfits in the morning, and I felt so organised. The next morning we headed out early for breakfast, and we met this little ginger sweetie from next door. He was hanging around a lot during our trip, and we were so happy to spend time with him because we were missing our 2 cats back home. At the time, we didn't know what a short life he was going to have, and I'm glad we got to see him living his best life in the mountains on the days that we did. We decided to check out the local bakery Mikkelbeck we'd walked past before and our host had recommended. It's a cute little corner spot that was full of fresh pastries and locals. We sat at the front window with our coffee and baked goodies, and people watched to the sound of rain outside. It was so cozy. The weather eventually cleared and we made our way to Thun, a charming lakeside town on the edge of Lake Thun. It's about a 30-minute train ride from Interlaken, and I highly recommend sitting on the right side of the train when travelling towards Thun because the views of the lake on the way are so stunning. At pretty much all of the major train stations in Switzerland, there is a Brezel König. They have the nicest pretzel. Our favourite was the raclette. We spent the afternoon wandering through the town. The streets here feel straight out of a postcard. Pastel buildings, historic facades, and these crystal clear river channels weaving right through the centre. As we explored, we came across the Kunstmuseum Thun, or the Art Museum Thun, sitting right by the water before finding one of the town's most iconic spots, the Aareschlucht Bridge. It's not just a bridge, it's actually part of an old wooden sluice system that controls the flow of the river as it leaves the lake, which is why the water rushes through so powerfully here. That strong current is exactly what draws locals in. We stopped for a while watching people river surf, riding the standing waves created by the fast-moving water. It's such a cool part of the culture here, especially in summer where the river becomes more than just scenery, it's part of daily life. After that, we popped into Co-op to grab a quick snack and then kept strolling along the river and canals, soaking up the atmosphere before jumping on a bus and heading up the mountains into Sigriswil for our next adventure. Located in the Swiss village of Sigriswil near Lake Thun, this panoramic suspension bridge stretches 340 metres across the Aare Gorge and stands 182 metres above the valley below. The walk across has incredible views of Lake Thun and the surrounding Swiss Alps the entire way. It's easy to get here from Thun. Just take the bus 25 to Sigriswil, which takes around 35 minutes. Then it's a short walk to the bridge entrance. If you're driving, there's parking available nearby in the village. There's a small entry fee to cross. In 2023, it was 8 Swiss francs for adults, and the bridge is open year-round depending on weather conditions. It's one of the best viewpoints in the region, and it's an easy stop if you're exploring the Bernese Oberland.
I've seen better.
Whereabouts? Honestly. This is definitely. So, Mark, what are we up to?
Huh?
Just walking back to town to Sigriswil. Quiet little town that's less touristy. It's really nice. I need to go back up
You just seen a bed
over the
sheet there.
suspension bridge. I'm hopeless. This is definitely not going on any YouTubes anyway. Here's the suspension bridge.
Here we go, the
It's a
suspension
nice
bridge.
long bridge overlooking Lake Thun and the mountain.
Cartoon. It's such a tune.
There it is there. Alright, heading back. To stay here a year later, we were sadly told by the neighbour that this darling boy of hers had passed away due to an underlying condition. We were so glad to have known that he got to spend his life here in the Swiss Alps and living such a beautiful little life before crossing over the Rainbow Bridge. The next day we visited the Aare Gorge, or Aareschlucht, one of Switzerland's most incredible natural landmarks near Meiringen. To get there from Interlaken, we took the train to Meiringen and then changed onto the local train toward Interlaken and got off at Aareschlucht West, right near the gorge entrance. Over thousands of years, the Aare River carved its way through the limestone cliffs, creating this dramatic gorge with towering rock walls and bright turquoise water flowing below, although it looked a little bit more grey in the rainy weather that we had. The walk takes you through tunnels, cliffside pathways and wooden walkways built right onto the rock. The full walk takes around 40 to 60 minutes depending on how often you stop for photos. At the end of the walk, there's a small cafe where you can sit beside the river and take in the view, or there are more walking trails if you feel like an extra hike. the way home, we stopped in Meiringen, a charming alpine town known for its traditional Swiss chalets, mountain views, also known as the birthplace of meringue, as it's linked to an early pastry chef in the area who is credited with popularizing the dessert. We met a gorgeous cat outside the local shops and gave her some company for a little while before reluctantly leaving her to go shopping in a Swiss Patagonia, where we made friends with a doggy before heading home. Oh, sweetie. When we got back to our home base, we decided to make a visit to the local co-op supermarket and pick up some food and also some wine, which is surprisingly cheap compared to other food and drinks in Switzerland. Most bottles are less than 5 to 10 euros.
Feel that our love is real. Maybe we should hurry up and seal the deal. Take you there.
This is a local walk down the street. Mark's drinking from the bottle and taking pictures of his Ticino wine. Just got this epic view of the mountains just down the road from where we're staying, and such a nice view of the Jungfrau too, but you can't see it from
Sticking strong in the local area that we're staying. Best view of the mountains, and finally it's sunny. The rain stopped today. It's nice and clear. Just going for a walk down to the water.
We took a lovely neighbourhood stroll down to Neuhaus, a peaceful lakeside area just outside Interlaken on Lake Thun. It's known for its wide open green spaces, swimming spots in summer and incredible views across the water to the surrounding mountains. It's also the start of several walking and cycling paths along the lake, making it a really relaxed spot to end the day, and the sunset reflecting on the lake was so beautiful. It seems like it's a really popular spot with the locals as well, because whenever we went there we only saw locals and there wasn't many tourists around, so that was kind of nice too.
If I'm gonna love somebody, I just wanna love you. If I'm gonna love somebody, I just wanna love you. If I'm gonna love somebody, I just wanna love you. If I'm gonna love somebody, I just wanna love you. Oh, oh, I just wanna love you right. Oh, oh, love it till.
Thanks for watching this part of the journey through the Swiss Alps. There's still so much more to come. Next up, we're heading to Brienz to ride the Rotonbahn, then visiting Isertwald, the Männlichen with the hike down to Kleine Scheidegg, and of course Grindelwald Fisch with the hike out to Backalpsee. So many more incredible views, exciting adventures and delicious Swiss food. So subscribe so you don't miss the next one. See you next time.